Hello. So today we're going to go through some nutrition basics. Okay. So we released a nutrition basics video ages ago, but this is just going to be a nice updated version. Okay. Because things change. Like we learn, we grow as coaches and our approaches change a little bit. So there's just a couple of things that we can mention that's going to have a bit more value this time around. Okay. And for our new 90 Day Accelerator program clients, this is going to be super, super valuable, hopefully. Okay. So first of all, let's go through the hierarchy of importance. Okay, so this is meant to be a pyramid. My IT skills are not great. I'm a coach. Okay, so bear that in mind. But basically, essentially, at the bottom of this pyramid, we have the most important going to the least important. Okay, so the most important factor when it comes to nutrition is consistency. Okay, so that is adherence. Sorry. Okay, so our adherence to the nutrition intervention that we make, okay, is of utmost important. And is a critical component of how successful we are. So if we pick a diet or eating routine that doesn't, isn't that we can't adhere to, then we're not going to be successful. Okay. For example, if you choose to eat nothing but cabbage soup, like the cabbage soup diet or something like that, or you choose to eat nothing but kind of fish and rice cakes, like the common funny bodybuilder video that was made years ago on YouTube, then it's unlikely that you're going to be successful because you simply cannot adhere to it. So really important that any interventions we undertake, any changes we make to our nutrition, they need to be able to be adhered to. Okay. And that's something we're going to talk about a lot, and something that will be fundamental to any of the kind of conversations we have, chats we have, and decisions that are made around your nutrition. Okay. So really, really important. Next up is total calorie intake. Okay. So calorie is a unit of energy. And I'm sure you're aware of calories in foods. It's on the packaging of any food that you eat. So the total number of calories consumed versus the total number of calories that you burn each day is super important. So if we burn more calories than we consume over a period of time, we will lose weight. If we eat more calories or consume more calories than we burn, we will gain weight. It's a fundamental principle that guides kind of weight gain, weight loss, etc. Okay. Much more complex than this in terms of a implementation point of view. Okay. But from a principle base, that's kind of the whole point of losing weight, etc., is to create a calorie deficit. So really, really important we understand that fundamentally. How we go about creating a calorie deficit and doing this is unique to everyone. Okay. You then got your macronutrients and micronutrients. So macronutrients, okay, if you've not heard that word before, are your there's three main ones. So protein, carbohydrates, and fats. I'm sure you've all heard of them. They're included in all foods that we eat, or most foods that we eat, and they're nothing to be scared of. So please don't overthink so much the carbs and the fats. The protein is going to be one that we're going to put some information out on. We will put some stuff out on the other ones as well, but protein tends to be one of the most important ones that we focus on for a few reasons that I'll go into more depth in a later video. Okay, it's not really needed to be covered here. Micronutrients are kind of our vitamins, minerals, so they are important from a health perspective. So arguably they could be switched the other way around. So like making sure we get enough vitamins, minerals, going to make us feel good, make us have more energy, make us less tired, and just from a health perspective, really, really important. And then some of the stuff at the top, which is not so important, especially among the other stuff, is meal timing. So when we eat, supplements. So they're exactly what they say they are. They're a supplement to a diet. So they're kind of our least important variables when it comes to our hierarchy of importance. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Adherence first, then calories are your kind of main ones, then your macro, micronutrients, and then least of importance are your meal timing and supplements. Okay, so moving on, we've got a couple of rules that we kind of look for when it comes down to nutrition. So this is just a nutrition basics. I'm not aligning this too much to particular goals right now because everyone's slightly different. Some of you guys will be looking to maybe lose some weight. Some of you guys are just looking to maintain. Some of you guys will be looking to gain weight, okay, for perhaps building muscle, that kind of thing, okay? So there's two main rules that we need to follow that I think apply for both. So rule one is your diet should fit your unique lifestyle preferences. So that goes back to that adherence point. So if we're following something that just does not fit with us, like maybe we're following some routine that makes us eat 6 times a day. However, we've got family, kids, we're working full time. It just might, and we're on the road, maybe traveling with work as well. It might just not be feasible to ensure that we've got 6 meals to hand every single day. Okay. It's not realistic and we're not going to be able to adhere to it. So whatever strategy and whatever we put in place, it needs to fit our unique lifestyle preferences, okay? And that also means food preferences. So if you're just going to pick a load of food that you actually don't even enjoy eating, you're only going to be eating that food for a limited period of time before you revert back to the stuff that you like. So it's really important that we make it work for us, okay? And I cannot stress that enough, okay? If we kind of envision the principle that every single diet works, you've got to find something that you actually enjoy. Okay, so if everything works, then you just need to pick the things that you like. Okay, because that's really, really important. So everything needs to fit your life preferences. Okay, rule number 2. We need to look at the lowest hanging fruit / minimum effective dose principles. It's something I've spoken about already in a previous video. So what is your lowest hanging fruit? Okay, so for example, let's look at myself. Okay, I'm someone who enjoys food probably a little bit more than I should, and I don't enjoy being too restrictive. I do love training. Fortunately, that kind of keeps me balanced, but I'm not the kind of guy you're going to see walking around with his top off with a 6-pack. I love training, but I love eating, and I like that kind of balance that I have, and I'm okay with it. Absolutely fine. So my lowest hanging fruit, okay, for me, there's a few select foods that I know I incorporate into my diet that if I wanted to say lean out or lose a bit of weight, or say, you know, look a certain way, that I could remove from that diet. And I can kind of think quite logically about what those foods are, and I can remove them. I also am aware of times of day where I'm more vulnerable to overeating potentially. And I'm also aware that I probably don't consume enough protein some days as well. So for my goals in terms of to support my training. So there's a few low hanging fruits here. So what I would look to do is pick the simplest one I could enforce straight away. And again, that sits to that minimum effective dose that's going to have the minimum effort that's going to give me the maximum reward. So if I was to remove just a couple of things that I know I shouldn't be eating, that's going to start to help me make some progress. If I was to maybe swap it out or eating some more fruit and veg in my meals, that's going to help. You know, loads of different things. So you will have a kind of low hanging fruit or something, a minimum effective dose approach that you can take, that you can implement straight away. And I think that's really, really important we look at it from this lens, because what we're trying to do is create sustainable habits that we can build momentum with, that are going to lead us to be more successful over the long run. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And if this principle doesn't make much sense and the words don't make much sense, please reach out and ask me, so I can maybe explain it a bit better. Okay, hopefully that was okay. And then finally, so a nice little quote that we love. So long-term consistency beats short-term intensity. Okay. And I believe in this principle in all aspects of life, be that business, my personal life, training, nutrition, anything. Okay. We need to remain consistent. So that leads back to those rules. We need to pick the lowest hanging fruits. So the smallest viable changes that we can make for the minimum effective dose. And we also need to pick things that we can sustain. So things that fit our lifestyle preferences, be that fit in with our routines, or be that fit in with what we like and dislike, okay? Because that's going to allow us to stay consistent for longer, which is going to increase our long-term success, okay? We can make great progress with kind of short-term intense approaches. However, I'd argue, and most of the people that we work with have done that in the past, and that's why they've ended up kind of where they're at now, which is, you know, still not happy with the results they've had previously and where they're at. Okay, and I hope that resonates a little bit. I've been there, I've done stuff, and it's not worked for me because I couldn't stick to it. I've been through various different things in the past, believe it or not, and maybe I'll share a bit more about my story with you guys at some point. And you know, I've ballooned in weight, I've lost weight, I've kind of been in all areas, and so you know, there's some things I've kind of experienced I've got in that circumstance, and definitely the long-term consistent approach has been the most effective method for me. Okay. So anyway, I digress. Task for you guys now. So I want you to spend some time, a couple of minutes, shouldn't take you too long, but I want you to identify your lowest hanging fruit, okay, when it comes to your nutrition right now, and look at the smallest worthwhile change you can implement this week. So it could be a quick swap. So you might be consuming something that's quite calorific, or you know you probably shouldn't be, and you could simply switch out for something more health seeking. So some more fruit, more veggies, things like that. You might kind of be thinking and think, okay, I'm doing some strength training now, I'm not consuming much protein. Boom, where can I get some more protein in? Think about your breakfast, lunch, dinner, those 3 main meals. Where can I add in some protein, and what kind of protein source can I add? We'll go into more details about this stuff later in the program. However, let's just think about the basics right now. I don't drink enough water, maybe. Yeah, you know, you might find that you just don't drink any water. You're always drinking coffee and tea. So starting to drink more water, that's a low hanging fruit that you could implement that's going to make you feel better straight away. Okay. And that's exactly what we're looking for. So I want you to identify 1 to 2 low hanging fruits within your nutrition right now, and let's implement and get on top of those this week. Okay. Above anything else, I'm not worried about any advanced strategies just yet. I'm not worried about changing your whole nutrition or lifestyle. We just want to look at a couple of low-hanging fruits when it comes to your nutrition and start to implement something this week that's going to support your training, your goals right now, and just your success. Okay. Hope that makes sense. If you want to share any of this, please shoot me a message on Boxmate. I'd love to know what your lowest hanging fruits are and what you're looking to implement. And if you found this useful, please let me know as well. Okay, because it's always nice to get some feedback on how you find these things. Okay, so cool, great to chat to you today, guys, and I look forward to chatting to you again soon.